All right, here we go. Final episode for the Breeders' Cup, giving you the last three turf races on the card. That's going to be races 8, 10, and 12. Then we'll give you a full recap of all the picks for the full 2 days so that you have some time to kind of wrap your head around it. Either you agree, disagree, decide where you're going to go. You have to formulate your opinion and then just go. Unless, like I said, unless there are big scratches, hold steady, trust yourself. Good luck, and let's see how it goes. All right. This first one we're going to jump into, race number 8, is wicked competitive. Like, this is going to be so difficult. It is going to be the $5 million Breeders' Cup Turf. Oh my goodness. A mile and a half on the turf course. You see, you got 14 runners there. It's going to be race number 8 on the card on Saturday. We quickly run through this field. Rebels Romance, ridiculously consistent, tough to deal with, always going to be there. Goliath, another runner that's going to be making the move from off the pace, super classy, 8-1 in the morning line. Amalok is another runner, just comes out of the 1.75-mile event at the Curragh, second on that particular day, just needs a little something to run at, and I think he's going to be in the right position. Redistricting is going to be part of, even though it's really weird to say there's going to be pace in a race going a mile and a half, there will be some. Redistricting will be up close. Rebel Red will not be up close. We'll try to make a move from off the pace, has a nice turn of foot. They all do. And the class level is there. Right? This is a really hard race. Wimbledon Hawkeye, able to win at Kentucky Downs last time out as your favorite, but this is one of those runners where I'm like, I don't think you figure in here. And that explains why he's 20-1. Silawi at 30-1. What did I say about pace? There's some of their pace, meaning the horse wants to be up close, forwardly placed. Doesn't mean that they're going to be motoring around there. Just means that there may be more than one horse up there. Mini Hawk was extremely impressive, even though they lost the Arc. She was right there, and she's just a game filly. She's always in the mix. She will be there. Now, the thing about her is she's tough, and she's your 8-5 favorite. Gold Phoenix, hey, this is the type of race that this horse wins. An incredible turn of foot, great late speed. You know, the mile and a half has not quite been to his liking. It might be a little too far for him, but I guess we're going to find out, aren't we? El Cordobes. This is a runner that I think is extremely consistent, and I kind of like the running style, how they're never too far off the pace, so they won't be having to make up a lot of ground, but they're not necessarily going to be on the front end. Really. He's a tough horse, 15-1. That's great value on that one. Rashabar is the 11 in here. This is a runner that is, you know, the mile and a half is going to be a whole new venture for this runner. I wouldn't be surprised if they're maybe out there on the front end a little bit. Tawny Port, deep closer, hasn't come through, has had 8 chances at a mile and a half, and is yet to come through. I don't think anything changes on Saturday. Hill Road, Chad, you already messed this one up, so no. Ethical Diamond, all right, I see it. I don't see the horse winning, but this horse has been going a lot further, so should have great stamina turning for home. Okay, so what we see here in a mile and a half is Rebels Romance wants to be on the front end. We know that. Then you get other horses that want to be out there, that maybe not want to be out there, but kind of have to be out there because they really have no other place to be, and that's the 7, Silawi. And then, of course, redistricting. We talked about that as well. I don't think any of them can keep up with Rebels Romance, but I think it'll be enough of a pest for a Rebels Romance there, and that sets it up for somebody else to make that move. And I really like the 10, El Cordobes. And by the way, there are 2 horses named El Cordobes. And speaking of that, there's one running at Churchill on this Thursday. El Cordobes ran at Churchill. I'm like, what? No, El Cordobes is running at Del Mar. Anyway, I love how they can always have different horses from different regions with the same name. I like this horse because of the consistency at a mile and a half. I think that a mile and a half is exactly what he loves to do all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. I think he'll be in the perfect spot. He has a wonderful turn of foot. And I think Billy the Kid is going to be in the great spot for Appleby. And I think this is how you get value on Charles Appleby, because you're not going to get it when Buick's riding for him. Buick's going to be on the inside there for the other Appleby. With Rebels Romance, El Cordobes is the winner of this race, and you get value with this runner. From there, we move on. Next one is the Breeders' Cup Mile. Okay. Another one. Extremely competitive, right? Let's take a look at what's working. To the inside, you get One Stripe. One Stripe is this South African horse. By the way, this is race number 10 on the card on Saturday. They're going to go 1 mile in the FanDuel Breeders' Cup Mile. One Stripe is a runner that, is starting to get acclimated here. Now second start in North America, has a nice turn of foot, just looking for a little somewhere to go, right? They had traffic last time out in the Woodbine Mile. Maybe they get a cleaner trip here. Notable Speech, the winner of that Woodbine Mile, great job with a great turn of foot, just ran past everyone. Definitely figures in here for Appleby and Buick. Salon. Hey, this horse was really impressive last time out at Longchamp back in September. Back-to-back victories there. Really a tough race, and involved in a blanket finish that last time out. Able to get the head bob. It's just going to be there. In line in winter, also another one that just needs a clean trip. Barely missing last time out in the QE2 at Ascot. Program Trading for Chad. Deep Closer, I don't think they're good enough. Grand Orient, the Chilean bred, I don't think they're good enough. Johannes, now here's a runner that is good enough. My only issue with this runner is that he doesn't really explode or sprint. He grinds. And even though that's been effective for him, I just didn't think he was going to be good enough on Saturday. But he figures at a price for sure. Formidable Man, you know what? This runner loves the mile. I think this is a kind of a step up dealing with this level of competition, but they're in great form for Michael McCarthy, and you get Johnny V, who's riding lights out. So they'll get a great ride, and we'll see if they can stay clear. Argene, the 9, I looked at these races, and I'm like, this is a tough little mare. She likes to go, go, go. I think she might want a further distance. You know what I mean? She's won at a mile, but 2 times, but I don't know if it's really what she wants. But she's tough with Frankie Dettori for sure. Jean Quill. This runner was really impressive in the turf mile at Keeneland back on October the 4th. Man, I love the way he runs. He's always in the mix. He's got a great, incredible turn of foot. If he can find a nice, clean trip, he's wicked dangerous. Rhetorical, hey, that was impressive winning that race. There was a blanket finish, and this one is in great form. 4 consecutive victories, looking for 5. I don't think that he's good enough because he hasn't been facing top-notch competition. That was his first time running against grade 1 competition last out. Yes, he won the race, but I don't know if he can run that back. Gas Me Up. Saying I don't know. And then Kirat, another runner. European bred. Great class. I don't know if they're good enough. Okay, so what I'm looking for in here is a horse that hopefully is in good form, and more importantly, they need to get something to run at, and they need to get the trip, and that's the 10, Jean Quill. Jean Quill, I mean, the turn of foot that this runner has is really impressive, and I think it's the best of all the runners in the field. I think when they turn for home and they really slam everything down and start to go, that's what this runner wants to do, and I think a mile suits him beautifully. So in that turf mile at Keeneland, he had a lot of traffic. He was back there, and then when he got a split, he took off, and he just couldn't get to your leaders, but I think he gets a better setup. It's a quicker track at Del Mar. I think it's going to enhance that late kick. I took you back to a couple of the other performances going a mile, in that celebration mile where they were able to come from off the pace and barely win. And then I looked at that French 2000 Guineas from earlier in the year, and I think it was a nice performance. Everything else has been 7 furlongs and 6 furlongs. I think the mile is exactly what this runner wants and what they get. And I think they get something to run at in here. I'm really, really excited about the 10. Jean Quill, that's who we're going to take in the Breeders' Cup Mile. Then we're going to wrap it up with a really, really hard race. Oh, my goodness. $2 million Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Turf, Saturday at Del Mar, 1 3/8. It's on the turf. It's race 12. 14 runners signed on. We'll see if they all have a chance to actually stay. So taking a look at what's happening with these runners, Mission of Joy to the inside, okay, they're bringing a little bit of talent here, that's for sure. We'll see if they are able to get themselves in a good position from that inside spot. They'll be closing and trying to make that move from off the pace. They have yet to go this distance, so we'll see how it works out for them. Stellify is intriguing because she is going to go to the lead, and she never comes back. Someone's got to go with her. Atsila is the 3 in here, needs something to run at and stretches out for the first time. Village Voice, hey, likes this distance, scored at the Belmont at Aqueduct meeting last time out. I mean, is not as much class as what they're facing here, but I think this mare figures second off the layoff for Chad Brown. Gizora. Hmm. Distance going to fit this one perfectly. We'll see if they get the trip. They're not really bred for the distance, but they've been running at this, and so I think they're ready. Diamond Rain. Okay, this one was extremely impressive in the EP Taylor back in August, and she's super honest. She comes back off the break for Charles Appleby. Billy the Kid will ride. 6-1. I can see it. Be Your Best. This one has to go with Stellafire. There's really going to be a problem for everybody else. Cathedral. This one's stretching back out again. Figures to be prominently placed early on in the second flight of runners. Cinderella's Dream, stretching back out as well. This is Appleby and Buick. You know, my issue with this runner is it's been a while since they've gone this route of ground, but when they have gone this distance, they've been very effective. So I think that's what we're looking for here, and we'll see what kind of trip they get. But I'm going to try and play against. La Kika is the 10 in here, second off of the layoff for Doug O'Neill. She does not belong in here, but good luck, Doug. The 11 is Bedtime Story. Another runner that loves I think the distance is going to be perfect for her. We'll see if she gets a good trip, and she'll get a good ride, that's for sure. Beletza is the 12 in here at about 20-1. Very impressive at this distance last time out. That was in August, winning the Grade 2 Flower Bowl. Has gone further than this, but just really likes the mile and 3/8. I think that she's very interesting, especially coming off a bit of a freshening, and she runs well fresh all the time. She feels pretty. Probably going to be your favorite, and she's super tough with Johnny V. But that far post out there, I just don't know if she's good enough to be able to work out a trip. She's going to have to use too much of her speed, and I think it's going to dull her kick when they turn for home. But she's a fighter, and Johnny V will have her in the right spot. See the Fire to the outside. Hey, this runner is serious, and I think the distance is going to be perfect for her. The question is, does she get the trip, and is she going to be okay with the firm ground? Del Mar's turf course is pretty firm, and she's been used to running on courses with a lot of give, so that might be her undoing. And so plus that outside post, those two outside horses, because they have to use some of that early speed, I do not like them, and I don't think they're going to figure when you turn for home. But the outside post position is not even remotely a problem for the 12. I love this filly. Beletza. So impressive the 2 times she's gone a mile and 3/8. And what she does is she'll just sit just off the pace. Now, she was a little further back in the Flower Bowl than I probably would like for her to be. I'd like for her to be where she was in the Shepherd's Bay, that other mile and 3/8 event at Belmont back in May of this year. I think she's going to be in a great spot. If she can get position and not too far off the pace, she's wicked dangerous. Her turn of foot is exceptional, and she's been training very well. I like her, and I love the value at 20-1. I think you'll get a little bit more push at the distance because the outside horses have speed. They're going to have to use that to get into position. Stellafy's got to go, right? Be Your Best. That's 3 to 4 horses who have to be forwardly placed. That's all we need. That's all we need. That's all we need. And that's how we get the money in that race. Okay, and so with that, we quickly wrap it up and recap all of our selections for both days. Take a look at Breeders' Cup picks on Friday. The Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint, the 10 Cy-Fair. Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, the 9 Lowally. Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf, the 9 Time to Dream. Breeders' Cup Juvenile, the 2 Blackout Time. Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, the 2 Street Beast. Then we go into Saturday. So we've made all kinds of money, and now we're really having fun. Race 4, Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Sprint, the 1 Zitlos. Race 5, Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, the 4 Kadem. Race 6, Breeders' Cup Sprint, the 3 Lovesick Blues. Come on, Giovanni Franco. Race number 7, BC Breeders' Cup Distaff, the 8 Seismic Beauty. And now that Scottish Lassie is out of that race, there's really no speed to mess with Seismic Beauty. She's got everything she wants if she's good enough. The 8, Breeders' Cup Turf, the 10, El Cordobes in race number 8. Race number 9, Breeders' Cup Classic, the 5, Forever Young. Sovereignty is out. Race number 10, Breeders' Cup Mile, the 10, Jonquil. Race number 11, Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, the 3, Nisos. Race number 12, Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Turf, the 12, Beletza. Those are the picks and your winners. So now the question is, what do you want to do, right? What do you want to do with all of that? So what I'm going to do is keep my tickets really short. Obviously, I'm going to use those picks. I might add 1 or 2 picks in some of those races when I play my pick 5 and my pick 4. But mainly, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. And I'm going to play it for a greater value. I'm not going to play 50 cents, $1, most likely. I might even play a $5. Sometimes I do things like that if I feel really confident about the sequence. But we'll find out about that more. Win wagers will be heavy on runners that are 5-1 or higher. And what I mean by heavy is like obviously $10 to win, but for situations like Zeitlos and Bellezza, I'll do $10 to $20 to win because I really want to maximize with those bigger prices. That's how you do it. Look, handicap, if you want to come out here and listen to all these people talk for 30 minutes about one race, go ahead. That's just wasting time. They're just looking for marketing and promotional stuff. Don't do it. You've seen these horses before, except for the European horses, and you may want to do some research on them. But when it's all said and done, formulate your opinion, get your plays in immediately, especially if you're going to play on the TVG app. Get them in ASAP, and then you can't go back. Mainly because the TVG app's going to crash during Breeders' Cup Day, so you won't have time. But don't go back. Just sit back, let the chips fall where they may, and we will see y'all when we celebrate all the money that we've made. We'll come back here on Saturday evening and Sunday to recap everything. In the meantime, in between time, until next time, that's how we do it here on Horse Race Bets for Breeders' Cup Weekend. Man, I wish y'all nothing but crazy luck. Let's get stacks on racks on racks on racks on racks. Let's come out of here, all kinds of monies, right? Let's do it. All right? Good luck and enjoy whatever you're trying to play. Go get that money.